how can we get ahead of 99% of people by using the ancient wisdom of Bhagavad Gita? Now, in today's modern world, which is obsessed with strategies, tactics, and hustle culture, the ancient wisdom can be very, very relevant. The ancient Bhagavad Gita says that true success and true fulfillment can be attained not through any techniques or tactics, but through intuition and surrender. Most people are obsessed with logic and decision paralysis, and all that people focus on mostly is about the next technique, the next trend, and the next skill that they can acquire. Now, of course, there is nothing wrong with skills and techniques. They definitely have their place. But with the advent of AI especially, most of the skills that we are acquiring and most of the systems and tools that we are using will be obsolete within a few years or a decade. So in this time of crisis, we can fall back on Bhagavad Gita and Vedanta to understand what truly matters, what makes human beings special, and how can we tune into that infinite potential that is within us through the power of intuition and surrender in order to live our life the way we truly want to live, a life of fulfillment and holistic abundance. AI might be powerful, but it cannot replace your connection to something extraordinary within you. This power has been waiting inside you all along, quietly guiding those who know how to listen. In this video, let's understand how you can access this hidden capacity that most successful people throughout history have leveraged to achieve greatness. Let's discuss the artificial intelligence a little bit. You are seeing this happen day by day. All the skills that made you so special are not so special anymore. If you are a writer, if you are a coder, if you are an artist, AI is now able to do many things better than you, and soon AI will be much more empowered and it will replace millions of jobs across the world. In this time, we must truly understand what it means to be a human being, what it truly means to be conscious, and how we can make use of that infinite potential, that consciousness, to actually live the life that we want to live by going beyond skills, techniques, or strategies. Our education systems have crafted us into analytical thinkers, strategic planners, and information processors. There is inherently nothing wrong in this, but it is quite limited. We are taught that the path to achievement lies in developing sharper logic, more refined strategies, and superior intellectual abilities. And this continues beyond the education system. The society conditions to think like this. If we enter the professional world or the entrepreneurial world, all of these areas and all of these things that we do reinforces this. But yet, in and through all this, we are missing something fundamental. We are missing the thing that can truly make us powerful. The intellectual capabilities we've been conditioned to value the most, like analysis, pattern recognition, strategic thinking, etc., are precisely the ones most vulnerable to automation. This leads to a profound paradox. We've invested enormous amounts of resources developing skills that are rapidly decreasing in value. But what is fascinating is that this modern crisis was anticipated somehow thousands and thousands of years ago. If we study Vedanta and Bhagavad Gita, they talk about how our intellect, no matter how powerful it is inherently limited. And if we are not conscious, it can even take us in the wrong direction and cause suffering in our lives. So while AI can surpass us in terms of our analytical capabilities, it can never access intuition, because this is something which is inherent within us. This is our true nature. Intuition is a way through which the universe communicates with us. Intuition is how God talks to us. And if we simply begin to listen to this and tune into this, our life can unfold in a beautiful way, and we simply need not worry about our jobs and our resources anymore. Intuition is a different dimension of intelligence. It is vastly more powerful than the intellect itself. And the ancient Bhagavad Gita says intuition is where you become the knower, the knowing, and the known all at once. This state of absolute knowing represents intuition as per Vedanta. But let's explore this further, and by the end, let us also understand how we can practically apply this in our life to see some immediate results. Sri Paramahamsa Yogananda describes intuition as the direct perception of truth, which operates independently from intellectual accumulation. So, intuition is an independent force which is separate from the intellect, which is not based on accumulated data. Basically, whatever memory that we have accumulated in form of karma, in the form of some of the knowledge that we have in our mind, no matter how much it is, no matter how many books we have read, ultimately it is limited compared to the infinitude of this universe and this existence. So while the intellect is dependent on the memory that we carry and the knowledge that we have gathered through books, through lectures, etc., intuition is an independent force which can access the infinite intelligence to guide us to our destiny. We can look at a simple example here. While intellect is like a microscope which is focused and which is dependent on memory and which is primarily focusing on one aspect, intuition can be looked at as a wide panoramic camera which captures all details and everything that we see. So, intuition is a higher perspective than the intellect. And Bhagavad Gita's chapter 4 verse 31 explains this beautifully. Gita places intuition at the apex of consciousness hierarchy. And while instinct, which is more at the animalistic level, is at the bottom, intellect at the human level is in the middle. But intuition is a divine dimension and it is at the top. So, this is how Gita differentiates between instinct, intellect, and intuition, and it says that intuition is at the top. Now consider Einstein's theory of relativity. He didn't come across this theory while he was actually in his lab doing a calculation and studying with his logical mind. But this came as an intuitive flash while he was actually riding a bike. It was a glimpse at the truth. He saw the truth for what it is in a flash instead of mentally constructing it or mentally deducing it. We can look at many examples here. Many scientists, many researchers attribute their findings to intuition and how things come to them during the most unexpected times while they were actually not thinking about it. This is the power of intuition. This is the power that we can access if we understand how we can listen to this universe when it is talking to us. This clearly shows how some of the most successful people in history, some of the most successful businessmen, scientists like Einstein, used intuition to their advantage. Now, how can we differentiate pure intuition from conditioned thinking? How can we tell the difference? Even to explain this, I will refer to one of Paramahamsa Yogananda's writings. He teaches that developing true intuition requires regular meditation, which dissolves thoughts into pure awareness. Through this practice, we learn to remain detached from passing sensations, eventually accessing intuitive wisdom at will. The benefit is profound. While intellect maintains a separation between observer and the observed, intuition represents unified consciousness where the knower, the knowing, and known become one, providing access to wisdom beyond even the most advanced artificial intelligence or supercomputer. With this, let us come to the ancient Karma Yoga of Bhagavad Gita and how intuition is connected to Karma Yoga. Like we discussed in our last video, our society, especially the modern world, is extremely focused towards achieving certain things in the external world. We are conditioned to think about the outcomes and the goals. But the essence of Karma Yoga is this: it is about detaching ourselves from the outcomes of our action. Through this, we surrender the resistance and we surrender any sort of stress that we might have regarding achieve a particular outcome or any particular goal. And through this surrender, we open ourselves up to that infinite intelligence. Through Karma Yoga and through the art of surrender, we welcome that infinite force to work through us and to work for us. This can help us get ahead of most people in this world. Now, our focus, of course, should not be to get ahead of someone. It is simply to see growth and fulfillment in our own lives. But I'm putting it like this because through this you will understand how you can achieve your goals, how you can truly live a fulfilled life, your ideal life, by breaking free from the crowd, by breaking free from the masses who are conditioned to live in a certain way. Think of attachments like your own shadow. The more you chase after it, the farther it gets away from you. So instead of doing this, we need to simply stand and accept the situation in which we are in, and we must begin to detach ourselves from the outcomes of our action. The practice of Karma Yoga dissolves the mental noise by focusing purely on action itself, bringing full presence to each moment. We create the clarity necessary for intuition to emerge, and this can provide incredible results. The detachment represents a shift from anxiety producing attachment to peaceful alignment. As the mental static subsides, the intuitive current becomes perceptible. This also leads me to talk about Bhagavad Gita's explanation of becoming a universal being, the world individual, where we identify ourselves as one with this world. And through this broad perspective, we begin to access that universal intelligence through which we can impact all those who are around us in a positive way. The paradox is that by detaching ourselves from the outcomes of our action, we manifest our goals and the outcomes in an easier way. We follow the path of least resistance, we follow the path of divine intuition, and the journey itself becomes fulfilling, which is ultimately the point of all this. Now, let me come to the importance of alignment of the individual effort with the universal power. And to explain this, I will take you through an important verse of Bhagavad Gita, which is this. It is Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdaraha Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruvanitar Matarmama. This translates to wherever there is Krishna, the master of yoga, and Arjuna, the wielder of the bow, there will be fortune, victory, prosperity, and unwavering righteousness. This is my conviction. This declaration encapsulates the secret to effortless achievement that most of us miss. So I look at this verse very differently. In this verse, Krishna represents the infinite intelligence, the universal power to me. And Arjuna represents someone who has aligned himself to that universal power, to that infinite consciousness. So because of Arjuna's alignment with Krishna, and when such alignment comes together, there is prosperity, success, abundance, and righteousness. That is the true meaning of this verse. Now, if we decode this verse further, we can understand that Sri Krishna is everywhere. He is not local in time-space. Krishna represents the infinite intelligence, the infinite power, the infinite consciousness. So, the infinite power is everywhere. The universal power is everywhere. But the individuals are not aligned to it. We are not aligned with this power. That is why 99% of us struggle. That is why we are stressful and we never find true fulfillment. If this alignment takes place, like Arjuna and Krishna, then there is prosperity, abundance, and fulfillment. This can happen through the understanding of intuition, through Karma Yoga, which is about surrendering our outcomes, and it is about identifying ourselves as one with this universe. When we have a broad perspective of who we are as someone who is one with the entire cosmos, then our vision for our own life will transform. we begin to align ourselves with that infinite power, which will guide us and which will take us to certain heights that we cannot even imagine. When you fully align your effort with the universal power, several transformations occur. Decisions become clearer and more effective. Number two, timing becomes impeccable. You will become lucky. And synchronicities multiply in your life. Apart from this, actions require less effort yet produce greater results because you are in alignment with the universal intelligence itself. So, initially, this requires focus and attention and effort because we are unconscious and we have come away from that infinite power. We need to learn to let go, we need to learn to surrender, and we need to be open to this universal intelligence to flow through us. That can happen through meditation, through spiritual practices, through devotion, and through selfless service. All of these tools can help us. And we've come a full circle through the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita in this video. And it is all about waking up to the potential that is already within us. It is about waking up to that infinite consciousness that is us at the deepest level. This is the meaning of Aham Brahmasmi. I am the infinite. If you want to understand this better, then register for our live workshop. We do this free workshop once a while where we cover the core concepts of conscious creation along with a Q&A. So, to register for this, check out the link in the description. And next, you need to understand the art of surrender and letting go to understand how to access intuition. So check out this video that we had made on how to let go. And I will see you in the next one. Subscribe to Adhvaitha to wake up. Shivoham.